In this series of videos, I'm going to be showing you how to make this amazing Lego display case. Let's do it. Before you start cutting out all of your timber, you need to make sure that your saw is going to be cutting it on a 45-degree angle. This will ensure that it's square to the base plate you're using when building the display cabinet. If your saw is not cutting at a 45-degree angle, make an adjustment on the headstock which supports the blade. Once you've made this adjustment, take your scrap pieces of timber, recut to check the 45-degree angle, and then check them against your base plate and make sure they're spot on. For the framing of the display case, I'll be using 64 by 19mm dress pine. I cut the frame pieces 50mm larger than the size of the base plate. This will allow room for the base plate to sit inside and have a little bit of the backing board surrounding it. After you cut one of the frame pieces and you're happy with the way that it looks, cut all of the other remaining ones exactly the same size. Alright, so I've come down to the shed and I've used the table saw. What I've done is I've actually cut some grooves in all of the pieces. So having these grooves in these bits here will allow for this sheet to actually recess inside there. So when I'm assembling this, what I'll be doing is actually gluing these pieces onto here as well, and then that will actually give it a lot more support. So a nice little strip of glue in there. What I've done is I've marked this out. You probably can't see it because it's done in pencil, but I've marked this out with allowance for the depth of this cut as well. So what that's going to do is rebate this right all the way in until it touches inside this groove all the way around. That's going to give me maximum grip. Then once I've got that sorted, I'll be butting all of these together and then nailing through the end of here, putting a bit of putty over where I put the nail in, and then painting these up. I've got some LED strip lighting here, so what I'll be doing is cutting another groove inside here and cutting it on a bit of an angle. So I'm hoping to get my lights to project backwards onto this whiteboard, give me a nice reflection of whatever colour it's displaying, but also not make it so that it's blasting you in the eyes when you're looking in and around the cabinet. I want to try and conceal the light as much as I can. I find it's a good idea to get yourself a test piece of timber, use this to cut all your grooves and stuff that you want to put in it. For the stepping of the groove that I've got there, you can see that I've done 3 runs so far and each one is getting shallower and shallower. I'm going to do one more run in my other pieces of timber, and that's going to give me my angle so I'm facing back towards the whiteboard to project more light onto that rather than having it in your eyes. I don't know how well that's showing up, but you can see I've got the 2 grooves cut there. I'm going to do one more run now and then do another shallow run here, and that's going to allow the light to come out a lot more rather than the light being trapped in there and beaming outwards to the front. So now we've got this fourth groove running up through here. We've got a nice angle on our section where our LED strip lighting is going to go into. So I take the LED strip lighting, it's going to go into there, and I'm not sure how much of a visual you're going to get on there, but you can see how that's going to kick back on an angle and not be as visible. And there we have the perfectly formed box ready for me to put it together. At this stage you would normally screw it all together, but because I'm putting the lights in, I'm going to be doing a few more slots into the framing timbers, and then I'll be getting them ready for painting. But that's the result that we've got there. And that's it from the back, so that's what we're looking at. You see, we got nice clean joins, everything's mating up nicely. Oh. That one's a little bit out there. That's just got to be propped up into place, and when it gets locked in to be glued, that'll be sitting there nicely as well. So we'll continue on with the build.